members I lost all. Um, we are gathered here today to play some, I almost said Balatro, because I've fallen right back into Balatro. After like months and months of not playing it, I started watching people play it again, and I was like, you know, I kind of miss playing that game. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just playing Balatro, like very casually playing Balatro. There's a couple of pieces of Balatro that I still haven't unlocked after months and months. And I'm going after those. Like, not super seriously, you know. I'm just playing, and if things work out, cool. And if they don't, cool. So there's still stuff that I can do there. But we are gathered here today to play some Ultima 4. And yesterday in Ultima 4, I thought, oh, some of the problem is we still have to map out where the rest of the moon gates are. But in fact, no, we just have to go through one gate, and then we have all the moon gates we would ever need. And then after that, I was like, oh, the rest of the stream is just us going to be looking for a boat, because I thought it was going to take hours and many streams to find a boat, because I've heard horror stories. And we were fighting some guys just off the coast, and to my right, boom, ship. So we got to the ship, we started circling the globe, kind of, and then we found places that we could have walked to all the time. So we're in one of those places, we're in Pause, and we're talking to the people in Pause. I've, as far as I'm aware, talked to everyone that I can talk to in Pause, but there was a thing that we could find in Pause that I want to go and have a look at. I don't know if we're going to find it or not, but we're going to try, you know. So that is the plan. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping very quickly, and then we're going to get going here. So give me a second while I housekeep. Housekeeping. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm not set up to housekeep. This might be a little bit silly. Housekeeping. Housekeeping. Okay, let's, now that I've got myself set up for housekeeping, let's actually housekeep. Okay. So now I think we can just start the game, right? Right. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, it's still showing that I'm logged in there because it thinks that is what it should be displaying. I don't know why it sometimes picks up on that, but okay. It shouldn't really. Everything should be okay? Yeah, everything should be okay. So we were in Pause, and we were talking to the people. I don't know if we've talked to everyone. Yeah, this is assembly. So, one thing, one thing that we did learn, we talked to these folks. One thing that we did learn is that if we were in the Folly Tavern and we talked to one of these people, they would tell us where Mandrake Root is. I think it's Mandrake Root or Nitrate, it's one of the two. Oh, goodness. Uh, 5. And this did not bear any fruit. So we tried all of these people. And I don't quite know how we get to that point. Like, maybe we need to buy one food. A special, I'd like one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. Nightshade? Oh. Okay. Talk. Talk. Food? I'd like one. Oh, yeah. Here you are. Something else? Yes. Oh, okay. Food. None. Sure. I thought something else would actually lead to... Oh, no. Bye. So the other thing that we learned about this particular area, incidentally, I should get my notes because that's the other thing that's not open yet. Over 4, we learned that in this village, in pause, here, we learned in pause, well, we think it's in pause. Baron said of the rune, search the hills in the southeast corner of town. So the southeast corner of the town probably means here. So if we go all the way to the right over here, we should start searching here. Here we go, you find the rune of humility. This one turned out to be right. I don't know why it was like this and didn't work. So I think that someone wanted to tell us or show us something if we had the rune of humility. So let me just check, because I seem to recall that in connections there was a guy who wanted to know that we had the rune of humility. Okay, so we've got the rune of humility and we can just knock this out. We should probably check. Their rune. Okay, that's not it. Okay, so hang on. What is Scarabray? A Scarabray. Where's humility? It's Magencia. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if there's a connection here, because looking at runes, oh, you know what made sense to ask Azure is about each rune, and I don't think we did that. I'm not sure if we did, actually, to be quite fair and true with you. Okay, so Jalam. Jalam gave us, we got the mantra of, I guess, Jalam's mantra was Ra. Right, yes, we did fall that in. So we're kind of missing spells, nightshade. Okay. Yeah, we don't know. Okay, so we've closed this up. I'm gonna make a note here that we found. Okay, so we've got the rune of humility. We've got the rune of humility. Where's humility? Here. We have the rune. I guess stones and runes are interchangeable. Okay. I guess that's true. We just need the mantra. Oh, hello. Oh, hang on. Stuff has happened. Okay. The followers are anonymous, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I should probably show you what I'm doing, because otherwise what I'm doing makes no sense. So, we just picked up in pause the rune of humility, or the stone of humility. I guess these are runes or stones. I'm just going to make a note here that the game sometimes calls them stones and sometimes calls them runes, and it's not super consistent. I want to align this, wrap that. Yes, okay, cool. I wish it would do this more intelligently, but oh well, there you go. And I'm looking specifically at the connection spreadsheet because I think that somewhere somewhere we ran into, yeah, there we go. So we haven't found Faultless yet. Faultless knows the mantra of pride, and I mean, maybe Faultless was just in Magencia and I missed them and I don't know where they are, but we're still looking for the mantra of humility. So okay, so we can't do this. Wheatman told us about another rune, which he said is in the nook of the mountains. And I have a feeling that if we go out of town and we just search around the mountains, that we might find this particular rune. Okay, so I think that does that. Let me get the game back up. Let's get out of here. Actually, well, hold on. There's a guy here. I wonder if we can walk through these gates. I mean, I don't want to steal horses. I just want to walk through. So, open this gate. Yes. Oh, I can't open this gate. I maybe need to buy a horse. Yes, I want one. Yes. Oh, did he just... I just want to go in here. Oh, no. I guess I need to unlock. Oh well, we just blew 100 gold for no good reason. Is this now? No, it's not consistent. See the science I wanted to do? Well, this doesn't make walking on these tiles any easier. Oh god. It has turning animations where our actual guy did not have turning animations. That's kind of funny. Okay, cool. So, let's get out of here. Let's do some more science. Actually, let's not. If we look at this map, let's get the map up for you so I can show you what I'm thinking now. Is this, hopefully this just works after I turn this off. Yes, oh thank god, because it's fighting with us for a long time. So we're at pause, and pause I haven't actually folded in, but pause is here. And he was talking about in the nook of the mountains. And I don't know if he means these, but these are hills. Like, as far as I'm aware, these are hills. Maybe what he means is in here. Maybe what he means is over here. But this seems very obvious because he's talking about the nook of the mountains. And so this seems kind of obvious. While we're having this discussion, there are two things I just real quickly want to do. The one is I want to move this Jalam tile up a little bit. Because at the moment, part of the problem with it is it's obscuring the moon gate. And it's making this map a little bit tricky to read. So let's just take... Oh god. Why am I like this? Anyway, so we're going to put this at the top of Jalam. That seems about right. We're also going to copy this tile because we want to add pause into the map. Now that we're here and we're looking at the map, we may as well just do it, right? Pause is here. Pop. There we go. And let me change this into pause. Is this? It's not full. There we go. Cool. And now we want text, but the text needs to be yellow. And it needs to be very tiny. And then if we just go pause. That looks pretty good to me, and I'm happy with it, so cool. So we're going to actually pick up the boat eventually, but I want to actually walk down here very quickly into this little nook over here. I just want to search around because they were talking about in the nook of the mountains. And I don't know if there's any other place that you could, you know, kind of call a nook. You could sort of call this here a nook. You could add a remove, call this a nook. Over here, you could ostensibly call this a nook, kind of. And so there's lots of places like where we could go look. You could go look up in Monarch. There's a little spot there. You could go look here. So there's lots of spaces where it's very possible that this rune is. But I want to just start with like the spot that's the most obvious. For the time being, I'm just going to leave the map up. And then we're going to go visit the game again. Because I need to kind of see how I'm driving. So I think that what I need to do is I need to go south a little bit. Oh, south a little bit. And then across here. And then this should be where the mountains are. And then if we just go... Oh, wait. Did I pick the wrong mountains? Oh, it did. Aha! I got bamboozled. I needed to be down here. Sure. Combat, why not? Oh, there's a dungeon here? Well, that's kind of good. We're at 74. Yes? There's nothing here, sure. Enter. Only on foot. Oh, this is the Stard. The Stard worries me a little bit because the Stard evidently has pits, and pits are bad. So we want to cast light. The dungeons are 3D. I hate it so much. I didn't want this in my life. Okay, new plan. When we get into a dungeon, we're just going to be using a map from the internet to get to the bottom of the dungeon and then come back up. Because part of the problem with these dungeons, I don't mind them, they exist and it's fine. But part of the problem with these dungeons, oh, I think it was 4. I should have checked immediately and then didn't. Light. 4. I think it's 4 anyway. So part of the problem with these dungeons is that they do a weird thing. In Ultima, it's going to be so difficult to explain this without a pointer. But in Ultima, see how the screen leads towards this horizon in the middle where we've got these 2 little bits of ladder, and we've got this what looks like a wall on our left and a wall on our right. That's green, right? Green. And we've got blue leading toward the horizon, blue. So some of the problems Ultima is that there's an additional, I don't know if this is true in this game, but in every other game it's been more or less true. There's almost always another step to take to get to these 2 walls. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm not always sure if I'm looking at the spot I'm in and a step, or this is just a step. Now we can test that, because if we go north, oh, okay, it's a little different in this game, sure. Cool. I don't know if that makes me any happier or not, but okay, sure. So we're at 74. And some of the reason we're at 74 and why I want to be at 74 is because I wanted to I want to use Z down because I want to see how much Z down costs. So we're going to go Z. Okay. That cost 4, so Z down cost 4. Oh. And I'm going to just assume that Y up is going to cost the same. So we are going to we're going to wait actually, because we want all of our mana back. Now it amuses me greatly that in this game, it turns out that you get mana back in dungeons. Because it was possible for that to happen in other Ultimas, it would just happen very slowly. Yeah, it's happening at a fair club, a fairish club. Okay, so we're at 74. We want to cost Y. That gives us 65, so that's actually a little bit more, it's 9. Okay, let's wait. Where are we? Oh, we're not immediately at the exit. That's also a little worrying, because I don't know how this game determines where you are in a dungeon. When you go down and go up, right? It could be that it moves you a little bit in space, like on the X or Y axis, and without making like extensive maps and figuring it out. And part of the problem making extensive maps of this specific sort of game is that because the tiles, these walls, all look the same, it's so difficult to immediately know where you are unless you have some kind of map spell, and we don't at this moment. We don't have peer or view or whatever it is, and so it's very difficult for us to tell kind of where we are. I'm gonna wait for us to be at 74, and then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get out of the start. We don't have the tools to go spelunking, really. Like, I mean, I guess that we do, because I could just mix a whole bunch of Z downs and Y ups. No, I don't even have to do that. We can just mix a whole lot of Z downs, and then we could exit right when we were done. But I don't know if there's going to be fights along the way, and I don't know if the fights are tuned differently in the dungeons. I guess that's science, and we do need to do it. But just for this minute, what I want to do is I want to get out of here. I guess that since we're at the start, we should actually just finish off the start, because it would give us another stone. Okay, so we want to cast. We've only got one other spell that we're interested in, and that's exit. So if we go exit, that took 14. That's substantial. Okay. Oh, hey. I didn't realize it, but Mandrake Root and... Oh no, you do need an item to do view. It needs Nightshade and Mandrake Root, neither of which we have. But you also need a gem, and we don't have gems yet. I think. Oh, really? I didn't make a note of that. Okay. Sure. So, there are two ways to go about this, right? The one way to go about it is just for me to sit and make maps myself, which I think would take too long. Like, I know just casually playing it, this is probably like between a 40 and a 60-hour game. If you're just casually playing it and you're playing it slowly like we are. I don't want us to be in this game for 60 hours. I don't mind if we are, because it's kind of a holiday. It's a Ultima holiday, I should say. But I worry that me plodding along like that is not fair to you as the viewer unless I show every step of what I'm doing. And I can't. Like, I can't show you the mapping that I'm going to be doing if I do this until the very end. Like, I can get us to the very end and then say this is, you know, what I produced for my homework. So I don't know if that's worth pursuing. I guess now that we know where to start is the other thing that we should do. Let me swap scenes. Now that we know where to start is, let's actually fold that in while I have a little think. So to start is here. I should maybe make these dungeons a different color so that we know what they are. So I think I plop this down. And then what we do is we do paint bucket. And maybe we make them like light blue. So there. And then we fold this in black. Shape. Sure. And again, just because the parser expects 4 characters, we're going to just go and say this is best. Okay, so the thing that we learned, the most important thing that we learned, was that the rune that we're looking for is not here. There's another thing that we could do. We're gonna have to sail around the coast here. There's a bunch of islands here, and we should search here. So I think that's the next thing I'm going to pick off. So let me flip back to the game. Let's get on our horse. Oh. Let's go and due north. I'm watching my health pool, and it's a little scary. The other bit of science that we want to do. Oh, I thought we could outrun these people. Oh. You know what? Hold on. I didn't want to kill that guy. Because I don't really want him stealing my gold. Where's? Wait a second. Oh, I think I missed the boat for pause. It might be north of where I am. Oh god. Hang on. Crisis. Wow, that was very scary. We were at 1 HP. pauses around this corner. You know, I want to try and sleep. Exit. Page. I'm gonna try and sleep. There's a guy due north of me. I don't think it's gonna let me, but we'll try. Oh my god, it let me. I'm very super puzzled. Anyway. Maybe what it means is it's talking about the spine. Maybe that's what it's talking about. Oh, that's actually terrible. So one of the pieces of science I wanted to do, we've finally done. I was thinking, oh, you can stick your, you can be on the horse, climb into the boat and keep going, but you can't actually do that. So when you do that, you say board and it says board can't. And the reason we can't, obviously, is because we are on the horse's back. So the other thing that I wanted to do, we may as well check. There's a couple of things that we can do. Okay, so let's just start knocking out things that we can do with a boat. So if we sail around the outskirts of the world here. I just want to make sure I know where I'm going. Yeah, we need to go past Trinsic, which is a little far away. There's Trinsic. We should keep going this way. In a minute, here. I'm just gonna get off and sleep. Okay, and I'm gonna do that every time sort of we go a significant distance. So if I just go here and then we go south. Oh, I can't go through there. Are you serious? Okay, we can't actually go around here. Oh wait, maybe we can. Hold on. It turns out that if I go just due east of where I was, there's a tiny little passage of water that isn't what I guess the game considers shallow water. And so we can just do this. This breaking apart of the scene to different depths is sort of maddening. Like, in Ultima 3, this never presented like a real problem. Oh, this is an issue. I don't want this guy to close with me. Man, we are about to lose Hull. We're not going to get anything for this, but that's okay. Okay, we didn't lose Hull. I'm a little bit surprised, but sure. I thought immediately that was going to be an issue. Am I going... I'm going the right way. We need to just circle around here and then go north. or the wind? The most fierce foe that Ultima ever conjured. The wind. We battled with it in Ultima 3, we're battling with it in Ultima 4. Okay, so over here, there are a bunch of little islands. Okay, so if we search here, nothing here, search there. Now, I should probably, by rights, note down where I have searched, but there really are only 4 spots to search, so hopefully it'll be okay. Like, here's the other one. Let's try and camp. I don't think so, this is too close to the other spot, but maybe we'll get lucky. No. Search. Search. And then there's 2 more islands. One's here. And then the other one we have to do some finagling to get to. Oh no. What are these? Insects, okay. We shouldn't kill these. Ah, we killed them. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me now. It might not be... Oh, damn it. We need to be a little bit more thorough than what I'm being right now. Because it could be that they're in the hills. Okay. I'm gonna just make a note on the map that I have completed this, because otherwise what's gonna invariably end up happening is that we're gonna keep walking over these and trying to figure that out where we've been and haven't been. Okay. We searched there, so let's go here. We need to actually kill this guy off. But before we do that, let me just add a marker around here. That we've searched there. Okay. Let's see if I can kill these guys off. Okay, there's a guy. Is that... No. We haven't actually been to this island. This was the finagling island. This is the one where we'd have to do a bit of nonsense to get here. Okay, so there's nothing there. Let me mark that one in. Oh, I almost expect that it's going to be on this tiny island here. Nope. Okay. Hmm. Okay, we need to go around. Okay, we found a soul horn. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So Z. And then we want to put this here. And I'm just going to make a super quick note that what we found here was the silver horn. Maybe that should be... I'm running out of colors. I think that if I try and put, yeah, the Geelong square and so on is a little bit too big. Shape. But the issue also is, yeah. I guess that will sort of have to do. Can I? Hold on. Here's an experiment. Can I make this like 6? Yes, I can. Okay. Cool. In that case, I can do this. I don't have to worry about shorthanding myself. Okay. So there are 2 other, well, I mean, I say that. There's a big town that we can go to and a couple of small towns. Well, one more small town. We're on the sea and we're at this point where I think it would be easy-ish enough to get to the big city. So let's do that. Because it's just going east here. If the wind would ever change. And then south here. Wow, this guy's taking a while to die. There we go. Okay. I just want to keep the coast mostly clear. So there's a landmass. Yeah, we just need to follow the edge of the water. So as long as we follow the edge of the water. This is still not quite a big continent, but it's very close. And this is... Oh, we can't sail there. Ugh. Okay. Oh. Um. Well, that sucks. Oh yeah, you see, in overland combat, they do hit the ship. So either we need to close with them or we need to kill them immediately. Because our hull is now at 40. I think that if we sail over here, oh my god, and then we go up north, yeah, I'm sure that there's been a lot of people spawning here. Get away from me. I don't want you to close. Jesus, so scary. Maybe I just need to be here. This isn't quite where I'm supposed to be. It's here. Okay. So over here, there's a tiny city. Well, it's not really a tiny city. So when I was thinking of Lady Tessa and Lord Simon, I thought they were going to be here. There's a Serpent's Hold. Oh, really? Wow. I thought Serpent's Hold was not the end of the game, but it was very close. Okay. We need to make a new spreadsheet thing. We don't know anything about Serpent's Hold. No one has told us to come here. No one has told us anything that connects to here. So I don't know what we're doing here. Okay. Let's check the connection spreadsheet to see if there's anything we need to ask about the Serpent's Hold, but I don't believe so. I think this is just a black box. Yeah, this is just a massive black box. There is a thing in Serpent Castle, which I guess is here. Oh. I wonder if Serpent Castle is here. Well, we'll figure it out after the break, because there's a guy over there who looks like a beggar, and that might be the guy. So, I'll see you in 10 minutes, and we'll find out together. Okay, I'm back. So let's check out what we have here. Well, you meet this dude stinking beggar. He says, I am Roderick. Okay. So I don't think this is the guy. But okay. Let's get up here. And do this. Here's Roderick. I cannot work. Okay. Health. I've lost a hand. Okay, this is the guy. So, this is the man. Although, I say that. Oh, it said one-handed beggar. But, so, here's a thing that I find kind of funny about this game. And the design of this game. When they were setting this up, the teams at Origin were getting larger and larger. And each time the team got larger and larger, it became subsequently more difficult for everyone to keep everything straight. So one person would say a place's name is Serpent's Hold, and another person would say the place's name is Serpent Castle. So when we encountered Seville in Britain, and I want to say that Britain is almost always like the first test case for an Ultima game, so they will build Britain and Castle Britain, and then they'll build the game up around those two places. So it's very likely that at the beginning of the implementation phase of this game, which is to say that the implementation of this game was probably, because 1986, sort of a mess, they would just throw things into the game as they thought of them. But there was some design document that sort of guided their hand in, to some degree. So maybe Richard had this idea, oh, we should talk about Serpent Castle. And then someone else who implemented it went, oh, Serpent's Hold sounds like a nicer name. So when we talked to Seville, because I transcribed his text word for word, Seville in Britain said, a one-handed beggar knows their secrets. Hast thou seen him? No, find him in Serpent Castle, for he knows of the orbs. And so here we have a case of the left hand and the right hand like not knowing what each other are doing. And we'll see a little bit more of this in this game. And I think by Ultima 5 it starts getting cleaned up a little bit, but it never goes away because Ultimas 6, 7, and 8 get progressively larger and larger and larger. So it's just interesting. So he's lost a hand. Okay, so we need to ask him about the orbs. Orb. An orb of blue light. Orb. Well, we said orbs. An orb of blue light will raise thy strength, dexterity, or intelligence. Thy strength, dexterity, or intelligence, but at a cost. Okay, so tell me about blue, tell me about light, tell me about strength, dexterity, and intelligence. Okay, tell me about the cost. Oh, you can't tell me what the cost is. It's more than likely, and I'm willing to bet anything, that the cost will be you will increment the one thing one way and you'll increment something or decrement something else another way. So maybe, I mean, one of the mean things I can see that this game might do is it might consider you using the orbs to gain power as a cheaty way of playing the game. So it may say, oh cool, you're no longer honest, so it'll dock you honesty points, right? Your virtue. and you'd have to get those up again. So I can kind of see how they might structure this. Okay, so we have learned this. So I am gonna put this to rest in that we know that his name is Roderick. We ask him about orbs, and he tells us. Oh, he tells us. This whole thing about the orb of blue light. And this is Serpent Castle / Hold. And now that we know this, we can just lop that out because that is complete. Okay. And that's the only thing that we know really about Serpent Hold. Give 99. Oh, thank thee. I shall never forget thy kindness. You meet a stately baron. He says, I'm Sentry. Sentry. Okay, what is your name? It's still Sentry. What is your job? I rule this province. Okay, and your help. Very well. Tell me about this province. Well, tell me about rule, and then province. Yes, these islands add much more. Yes. These islands add much. Okay, tell me a little bit about the islands. And more. Oh, he doesn't say anything. I think that's all that we can get out of Sentry. You meet a stately baron. This one doesn't have a name. Oh, it's also just Sentry, sure. I wonder if he's gonna say the same thing. Yeah, okay. So, I'm not gonna make a note of that because it's basically the same. You meet a beautiful paladin. She says, I am Michelle. Tell me about your name. Sure, tell me about your job. I welcome thee to Serpent Castle. See here, someone's now calling it Serpent Castle. Job. She's about to ask us a question. No, she isn't. Okay. So tell me what your health. Very well. Now she is. Art thou well? Yes. Very good. Perhaps thou seeks Sentry. I don't know why. Oh. Very well. He asked if we were well. We said yes. She said perhaps. She actually said, very good. Perhaps thou seek Sentry. I don't know why, but it's important that she wants us to see Sentry. Okay. Tell me about Welcome. And, Serpent's Castle. Okay. Tell me about Sentry. He is the Lord here. Take the West Passage. He is the Lord here. Take the West Passage. Tell me about the Lord. tell me about the West Passage. Okay, sure. That's fine. So the West Passage is this way, obviously. Open. Can I go in here? Yes. You meet a bold fighter. What is your name? He says, I'm Goram. Goram, tell me about your job. I fight with courage. And he's about to ask us a question. Dost thou? We try. I'm gonna say yes. Good. How's your health? Quite well. Tell me about fighting and courage. Courage makes kings out of knaves. Tell me about kings and knaves. Okay. You mean the handsome god. Name? He is Samuel. What's your job? I guard this passage. Okay. Art thou looking for someone? Technically we're looking for sentry, so I guess we should say yes. Ooh, sentry. We said yes. He asked who. We answered sentry. That I cannot help you with. Oh, okay. That implies that there's someone else that we should be looking for. I should note here that this was the wrong answer. Bye. It doesn't look like there's anything hidden here. They did say the West Passage, but maybe that's further in. Open. You meet a tall fighter. He says he is Durham. We didn't ask Samuel about his health. I'll go back in a second. Job? I quest for glory. Well, friend, then I'll have you know you're in the wrong game. That's about 3 years later, and at 0. Your health? Very well. Okay, so tell me about quest. I feel that when on a quest, my life has purpose. And now he's going to ask us a question. Art thou on a quest? We are going to say yes. Then thy life has meaning. Okay, so tell me about glory. No. Purpose. Tell me about meaning. Okay. They are Lori. Your name is Police Lori. Your job is... I got this passage. I think this is going to be the same. Yes. Sentry. Okay. So... Oh, okay. I wasn't was wondering if Lori was a he or she, and now she, like potentially a she. Bye. Oh, we can go in here. This is the academy. Hi. You meet the trainer master, the training master. What is your name? I am Shara. What is your job? I train warriors to fight with courage. So, in any other game past this point, this would be the point where you'd say, cool, load me up with a strength stat. But I don't think that's going to be how this game is going to work. Okay, so how was your health? Fine. Okay, so tell me about fighting. And tell me about courage. Oh wow. Tell me about training. Oh, okay. Train. Train well, and thy courage can go with confidence. And thy courage can go with confidence. Sure. Hold that train. I guess so. Yes. We should have saved before we do this. I don't know what this is gonna mean. Bravo. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna go somewhere and we're going to end up fighting her and it was going to be a problem. Warriors? Okay. He says, I am a ranger. You meet a ranger in Ghost in training. He says, I'm a ranger. Your name? He says, I'm a ranger. Your job? I am training. In a minute, I might take this guy out of the spreadsheet and tell me what your help. Excellent. Train. My train says that I might survive the dungeons. Okay. Tell me about survive. And tell me what that means. I plan to conquer the secret to the altar rooms. Here comes a question. Dost thou? We're going to answer yes, because that's part of what we're trying to do. They say... Ask our teacher about the rooms, for she knows much. Okay, well that's pretty good, because that means that we have to go back to Shire and we have to ask about the rooms. I'm gonna add an extra line here so I can remember. Okay. Tell me about secret altar rooms. Teacher. Okay. Bye. You meet a ranger in Ghost in training. This is probably going to be the same thing. Name, job. Yeah, this is going to be the same. Oh, excellent. And then training. Yeah, okay. Dungeons. Sure, yes. Okay. Same thing. Okay, so let's talk to her again. Dungeons? Oh, interesting. I thought that she would just have something to say about dungeons, but I suppose not. Tell me about the altar rooms. Altar, and then, I guess, rooms. There we go. In the altar room of courage. In the altar room of courage. You use the red, orange, purple, and white stones. Red, orange, purple, and white stones. Now here's a funny thing. Like, we can't actually directly look at the runes that we have. They're using stones and runes interchangeably because, again, I don't always know that the right and the left hand are talking to each other all the time at Origin at this point. So some people are, you know, hell-bent and running forward and they're going, rooms. And some of the other people are going, no, they're runes. And some of the people are, no, they're stones and runes and stones. And so I think they're using the two terms interchangeably. But the thing is, and it's a little bit weird, we haven't, like, we've picked up some of the, we've picked up 2 runes so far. I mean, it could be that runes and stones are different things completely, and maybe I'm getting them wrong, but when you get a rune or a stone, I'm just going to call them the same thing until we know better. When you get a rune or a stone, it doesn't actually introduce the rune or stone to you, it just gives it to you. So if we, I'm going to keep asking her these questions in a second, but when we look at our inventory, and I mustn't forget to do this, you will see that it just lists the letter that the specific rune is associated with, like J is obviously justice, and the one that we have now is H for humility, but it doesn't tell you color. So I don't know for a fact if these two are separate different issues, but we won't know until we start looking this up, unfortunately, because it hasn't told us what all the colors are. Okay, in Ultima of Courage, so we asked about rooms. I'm gonna try asking, because we haven't asked about altar. Okay, with stone? No. So I'm gonna just assume that she's not going to be able to tell us about purple and white. So, sure. Bye. Okay, that's pretty good. This is an important clue. I'm going to add this into connections because we do need to know about this. So, this was Shira, who is in the Serpent Castle Hold. We asked her about rooms, and she gave us this. Okay, so we need to go into Courage Dungeon. We don't know what the name of the Courage Dungeon is yet. We're gonna find an altar, and in that we need to use I need to make a note here. Use the red, orange, purple, and white. Okay, cool. Sure, I think that's about all we're gonna get out of her. Let's get out of here. Open. Oh, this is just healing. Sure. Tell me about your name. You meet a seasoned fighter. What is your name? This is Rock. What is your job? I fight for Britannia. Okay. Tell me about your health. Just healed. Oh. He asked Ottawa. We said yes. Then strive to find the secrets of Zebus. Okay, so there's stuff going on here. We'll come back to that in a minute. I want to ask him about Britannia. Oh, okay, sure. And tell me what to find. Secret Abyss. The Great Stygian Abyss. Holds the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Okay, so we need to pause here for a second and talk about what we're seeing here. This idea of the Stygian Abyss and the Codex are both seeds that Ultima 9 will go on to water and water and water over and over again. And in different games, they spout into different ideas. In this particular game, the idea of the Stygian Abyss is that it's just the end dungeon. And in this particular game, of course, the Codex is what we're looking for, because it's one of the steps that we need to complete to become an avatar. So it's very much the end of what we're trying to do. In some of the other games, it shuffles it around a little bit and does different things with both the Stygian Abyss and the Codex itself. And we'll see that in 4, 5, and 6 specifically, the Codex is a pivotal item that runs through all 3 of those games. So let's talk about the Codex. They know little. And wisdom. Okay. If they know little about the Codex, I don't think there's going to be much that we can get out of them about this. So let's just get them out of here. Oh, interesting. He says, I'm the Sworn. What is your job? I'm a sailor. Okay, tell me about your health. You don't look so good. I alone survived the shipwreck. Health. I alone survived shipwreck. Okay. Tell me about being a sailor. He can't help me with being a sailor. Tell me about alone and survived in the shipwreck. The HMS Cape. Okay. Ever heard of it? No, we have not. No. This is the first time someone's brought this ship up. No. She was a mighty vessel. Okay. Tell me about the Okay. Tell me about vessel. Sure. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but okay. Seems good. Let's get out of here. You meet the stern god. She says I am a baronial god. She doesn't really have a name. God. My god, oh lord. I wonder if I write this down or not. Oh, most good. Lord. Oh, okay. There we go. So this is a baronial guard. And we asked them about Lord. And they said, Sentry rules this castle. Dost thou wish an audience with Sentry? I would, but I don't know why. So, I mean, I guess we're gonna say yes. Garden, enter. Okay. Oh, I wonder if you can just barge on in here. Tell me about Sentry. Actually, there's a couple of things happening here. Tell me about Sentry. Tell me about the castle. Castle. This castle is built on courage. Okay. Tell me about Bolt. Tell me about courage. Sure. Bye. Okay, bye. Alright, so we got our ability to go in here, so sure. He says, I am Sister Antos. Tell me about your name, tell me about your job. I have very important information for your job. Very important information. Okay, health. Well enough. Tell me about your important information. On what subject? Can you tell me about the virtues? No. Can you tell me about the principles? No. Can you tell me about courage? No. Can you tell me about the runes? Can you tell me about that? Okay. Well, there's a very specific trigger here, like with Father Antos, Brother Antos, I should say. There's probably a very specific thing that we need to ask her, and I don't think that we've come across what the game expects us to ask here. Like, there's a whole slew of topics that we could ask about, but we've seen from just talking about courage that it's not going to be one of the virtues. And I guess we could ask about the Codex and the Abyss, and none of this is going to bear any fruit, so sure. I think that we need to come back to Sister Antos at some point in the future. So, Sister Antos, she's in Serpent Castle Hall. She expects us to ask her a very specific question, rather like okay. So we're supposed to talk to Sentry, I guess. I don't know what about, but let's do that. You meet a stately baron. Name. He says I am Sentry. Oh. So what were these guards doing at the beginning? Huh. Maybe they were just being cheaty. I'm just gonna say that these are guards, they're not actually sentry. Maybe this is a... No, it's not a pun, sorry. I was gonna say maybe it's a pun on the word sentry. As in, they are a guard being a sentry. It's not a very good pun. Anyway, so I am sentry. Tell me about your job. I rule this province. Tell me about your home. Very well. Tell me about this province. This is exactly the same responses we got before. Yes, these islands and much more. Tell me about the codex. Tell me about the principles. Or the virtues, maybe. Sure. Again, I think that with Sentry, there may just be a very super specific thing that we need to ask. And maybe we just don't know what that is. I am actually going to just check to see if someone's mentioned Sentry. Oh. No one has. Yeah, no one has. Okay. So I think that again, there's just something very specific that we need to ask of Sentry. Okay, sure. I guess we get out of here. There's a secret room there's a secret room here. Oh. There's a lot of temptation all in one place here. We shouldn't actually do this. And there's a secret room, and I guess it's the same because symmetry? Yes. Okay. Let's get out of here. Like, I think that there's a thing that we need to do here that is important, but we don't know what it is. Okay, I guess that's it. Let's save, because it's been a while. Let's get back on our boat. I'm gonna take us to the other place that I know that we can go right now. There's a couple of things that we can pursue. If we go to pause on one of the things that happened at pause is that there was a little town just east of pause, because if you recall in pause, one of the folks said, hey, listen, we're constantly being attacked by pirates, and he said that they're pirates to the east. So there's a little island out there with a town that I want to actually pursue. So let's just go straight up there, because that's not that difficult to do. Assuming I don't just get us hopelessly lost, which is completely possible. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go west, because I need to line this up properly. Okay, so where are we? Maybe we've gone too far north. No, I don't think we have, actually. No, I don't think we have. Maybe we have. Because the spot that we're seeing due north of us, with all these little islands. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I'm looking at two separate different sets of tiles. This is just Nightshade. So if we line ourselves up with the last little island like this, if we go due north here, and then we should go up here, this is the last island, and then we go to the right. We'll end up where I want us to be. Oh god. Get away from me? Okay, he at least didn't hit me. Okay. That's one guy dead. Okay. And this is the little island. I'm gonna assume that this is Buccaneer's Den. Yeah, Buccaneer's Den. Okay, cool. So let's save. And then tomorrow what we'll start, I'll just very quickly make a spreadsheet entry for Buccaneer's Den. And we'll get our questions up and going. And then tomorrow, like the first thing that we'll do is we'll just roam through Buccaneer's Den. We know there's one or two things in Buccaneer's Den that we can specifically do, and I'm just going to follow those things up. So that seems pretty good and a good place to stop. I'm going to get us out of here. I'm going to show you exactly what we did on the spreadsheet. Just bring the spreadsheet up. So on the map, let me just clear up what we did in the map. I've got to add in that we found Serpent's Hold here. But, oh, I don't know if I have. Do I have? I don't. I thought I had the Geelong Square in memory, but I don't. I guess we just do it real quickly because we're here and we may as well. Oh, we should also add in Buccaneer's Den. So let's go east of Pause and let's just add in Buccaneer's Den. There we go, perfect. And then we want this to be all black. Oh, so that we can enshroud this in darkness. But we can only do that if this is out of the way. Yeah, you are seeing this. Okay, sure. I'm always super paranoid because for a long time in this particular stream, it didn't work. Okay, there's Buccaneer's Den. And we need to add I guess we call the SERP SERP. Oh, you know what? I'm dumb. We should have made this 8. And the Buccaneer's Den text is actually wrong as well. because the Buccaneers Den text is too small. I guess this is about as good as it gets. Hold on. Let me just fix the Buccaneers Den text. Oh no. That's entirely the wrong kind of square. There we go. Okay, cool. So we've pulled this in. Um, the reason why I was in green, I'll show you that in a second, because we got the start here, the dungeon to start. And then over here, while we were looking for the silver horn, I was just filling these in as we were looking at them, and then adding in the silver horn over there. And of course, the last little thing that we did was we stopped off in Serpent Hold. So there's one more town like this that we need to go visit, which is um, way up here. But we'll do that probably tomorrow. And then that should map out most of the world. Okay, let's get out of here and let me show you the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet just, we've opened up an entry for Buccaneers, then we finished off, and because we found all the serpents hold, we dealt with the last couple of bits of pause over here. Oh, we didn't actually do anything in pause. We just, because we'd asked everything of everyone, we just wanted to find the rune slash stone or whatever it is that we're looking for there. The other thing that we did was in connections over here. There. We added these in, right? Because these were new to us. And we closed out over here Thebble and Britain because we needed to talk to the person in Serpent Castle, which is Roderick. I should actually add this is the one on Handed Beggar. So we know. Okay. That seems pretty good. I'll see you all tomorrow. Let me get us to the end scene. Hopefully earlier. We'll see. um, but yeah, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. I I really I like. I know it's a long-winded game, and I know that like nothing really happens in it, but I like how sort of sedate Ultima 4 is. I think that there might be a problem if it's sedate into hour 50, but for right now it's fine. Like, because so a lot of these games were, um, and we'll play another game like this at some point, because this year is all about like big giant RPGs, and one of the games that we're going to fall into is probably going to be, I'm going to try and play it. I'm not going to guarantee that we'll manage it. I've been talking about it off and on, but we're going to try and play Starflight. And some of the problem with Starflight is that Starflight is a game that has just like a big universe. And it's very easy to get lost in Starflight. And so, you know, with these games in the 80s, one of the selling points is almost always, hey, this game has 200 hours of playtime. Where what they really meant was, you know, you'd be at it for a while because you didn't know the world and you had to learn the world. And you had to figure out clues and all that kind of thing. So, um, in this specific case, with this specific game, if it runs sort of past hour 50 and we still haven't wrapped it up, then that's going to start being a problem. But I'm willing and prepared for it to be a 50-hour game, 50-hour game. So, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. Um, I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. This is very laid back. It's a good way to start the year. Like, officially start the year for us. So, yeah. Have a wonderful evening, and good night for now.